So I previously posted a video where I was talking about shame and how shame can shape our lives in negative ways, and how that negative shame can prohibit us from truly living our best lives and fulfilling our heart's desires. But I've also recognized that shame can also be used in a positive way, but because of our new iteration of society, we have taken away shame. We shun any form of correction in terms of decency. When we look around social media and we see young women, young men, older men behaving in extreme degenerate fashions, and if you were fortunate enough to grow up in a time where we still valued the social norms, we look at all of this stuff as just straight craziness. We look at this as straight attention seeking, and sometimes it leaves you scratching your head as to where do we go wrong. And a part of me believes that we went wrong when we allowed the psychologists to come into the classrooms and started spewing their textbooks at us, their theories, that the idea of disciplining a child takes away a child's agency. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not advocating for capital punishment on children. But what I am advocating for is not sparing the rod, because as the Bible says, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And as a result, anyone who works within the school system or who works around young men and women can attest that very few of them hold any positive regard for authority. Now, I'm not saying that authority means right, but what I am saying is authority. Myself as a father, I'm an authority in my house. There's certain behaviors and rules and attitudes that I'm expecting my kids to have. So I'm expecting a way of conduct that is pleasing to me as a man who is responsible for the financial, spiritual, and the safety of my family. So I'm expecting something in return. So I'm not going to allow my kids to speak to behave towards my myself in any manner that's pleasing to them. Because in this situation, this is what I would say, the cart is before the horse, and that is a no-no. And because I think this way, and when I hear the stories that are told to me from my wife and other teachers about the conduct they're trying to instruct the kids, how their authority is laughed away. It's not regarded with any value. And as the system that we live in now, and the education that our kids are receiving teaches them happiness, teaches them tolerance with these children, and the parents do not make it easy. I had a thought, and the thought along the lines of more times than not, when a child is rude, disruptive, inconsiderate, mean-spirited, if you were to be around their parents, their mom and dad, you would come to find out that the kids are only reflecting what they see. The kids are reflecting what's going on. And because inside of them, that's a normal day-to-day life, the impression that they have is that when they go out, that is acceptable. This is we talk back, we act as if we are the authorities, and that you are supposed to do what I say. And this is why shame can be a force used for good, and not just for negativity that our society bears try to use it as a weapon to make us feel less than. But it can be used as a tool that allows people to know that here's what we will not tolerate. Here's the standard we're not going to adhere to. If you, as a woman, this is how you choose to walk out of your house, looking as if though you're just coming out of the shower, walking around your house, and you think that what goes on in your house is we're not going to do this. We're not going to associate. And you as a man conducting yourself with a child as if though you don't know better, we will not associate. If your child is in the positive behaviors of herself and thinks and not make life so unnecessary difficult for those who are trying to. We have to get away from this idea that our kids are angels. Our kids are good. We have to train them in a way that doesn't break their spirit. We have to train them in a way that does not make them walk around feeling entitled. We have to train them in a way that is pleasing, not only to members of society. Kids today reflect the parents that they have, the kids that they have. If you are a parent and you're listening to what I'm saying, take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask yourself this question: what am I reflecting in the eyes of my kid? How that my kids are seeing me? Because when you get the call that little Timmy or little Jenny is misbehaving, and your first response is to be defensive, you are the problem. Not only are you the problem, but you are helping to compound the problem for the future, because who is responsible? I don't believe anyone should have to deal with another person's child. As a father, I try my best to impart good values in my children. Not only do I try to impart good values in my kids, I too try to adhere to good values. And this is why, as much as I know that a lot of people refuse to believe in God, but I just want to speak about the Bible. This is why where we're at today is where we're at, because you don't want to take instructions from the elders. You want to take instructions from those who see your behaviors, and you do not want to pick up the basic instructions which outlaws every and anything everything that the world has been doing. Think about it this way: the value system in which our forefathers has been forged out of the pages of the Bible. Moral compass: treat others as you have to treat you. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery. All of these things in which that we adhere to and that we like to regard as good virtues, we all thrive on. But yet, many of us have not believed in the Bible. And many of us, because we are lovers of ourselves and we feel we want to define something, we like to say that we are above this, that, and the other. We're not above taking instructions, because as long as we're living, we will be taking instructions. And I'm not advocating for giving away agency. I'm advocating for sensibility. I'm advocating for peanut gallery. Those men and women who do not have a dog in the fight, meaning who do not have any children, but yet are online constantly under posts when someone is expressing a true concern about the current state of how kids are behaving, and they're upset that someone has the audacity to point out something that they see that is wrong, and wanting to bring that to the attention of the rest of society to say, hey, whatever it is that we're doing, we need to get a hold on it. We need to put a cap on it. We need to stop it. We need to stop it before this train truly runs off of the track. But yet they're in the comments and even making videos condemning those who are pointing out the folly of many of us as parents. This is why I'm a strong believer that as a parent, the first 7 years of your child's life are the most important years of that child's life. That's when you as a parent instill the values that you want your kids to have before their sense of self kicks in, so that your child knows how to behave when they're with you and when they're not around you. You cannot wait to bend a tree when a tree is old. If you ever seen those bamboo plants or those bamboo plants where there are like 8 or 10 of them in a pot and they have them wrapped around each other while they're young, that's for a reason, because they know that once that tree gets at a certain age or a certain growth level, it would be impossible to have an impact on that tree, to have it plant itself the way it would grow to become. But yet we are seeing this notion of free range parenting that doesn't work, especially in a day and time where information and influences are so rampant, especially if your kid has access to a computer or a phone, because now you're allowing truly the world to have more input in your child's life than yourself. And to me, I believe that is truly what you call a dereliction of duty. So a little shame and making people accountable for the way they are choosing not to engage with their children, but yet still wanting to send their kids off to schools and have underpaid teachers sit around and put up with bad, rude children is not fair for the teachers, and is not fair for society, because you're creating a problem that is going to come back to bite you in the ass as a parent, because either you will have to constantly bail your child up out of jail, or worse, somebody is going to take it upon themselves to hurt your child, or you're going to have to bury that child because of his or her uncontrollably, unruly, ungovernable spirit. So we have to walk this tightrope between just a little less balancing of how we implement this idea of shame into our children. We don't want to stop them from growing and flourishing. We don't want them to walk around doubtful. We don't want them to walk around having negative self-talk about themselves. We want them to see the greatness that's within them, because they all have greatness within them. It's just about us cultivating that greatness and harnessing it and directing it in the right direction. So our job as parents is not an easy one, but it's something that we can do. But we have to not be lazy when it comes to it. We have to be forthright, strong-minded, strong-backed, and we have to be willing to put in the work. Because a part of me feels like most of these kids are only here because of selfish reasons, and because the reason has either been fulfilled, they no longer care. And this goes for men and women. And when things go bad, that's not my fault. I did my best. But the question is, did you really do your best? Did you truly do your best? Anyway, this is some food for thought. If you like this content, please consider subscribing. Help me to grow the channel. And if you have any questions, want to start a dialogue, please leave your comment down low. Until then, like I always say, stay gorilla-minded.